Alright guys, get ready to have your minds blown because today we're talking about some truly mind-boggling NBA moments. You know the ones I'm talking about. The half-court buzzer beaters, the insane dunks, the unbelievable comebacks. These moments are what make the NBA so exciting to watch. So keep your eyes peeled as we're going into some of the moments which are so rare. They're like finding a needle in a haystack. Number 1. So here's what went down. Stockton passed the ball to Malone, but then Jordan swooped in and snatched it away. He dribbled towards the front with Russell hot on his tail. Then Jordan pulled off a slick crossover move and sunk a 20-foot jumper. And just like that, the Bulls took an 87-86 lead with only 5.2 seconds left on the clock. They sealed the deal and snagged their 6th title. Nice work, Chicago Bulls. Number 2. Alright. In the 1980 Finals, Game 6, Magic Johnson went all out with 42 points and 15 rebounds to secure the Lakers championship. It was a wild game because Kareem Abdul-Jabbar couldn't play due to a sprained ankle. But rookie Magic stepped up big time by taking over as center, playing every position on the court, and dominating with those impressive stats. The Lakers won the game 123-107 and became the champions. Number 3. No one saw this coming. This kid from Harvard became an absolute NBA superstar for 3 whole weeks while Carmelo Anthony was out. Who would have thought he'd go head-to-head with the league's best player, Kobe Bryant, and hit game-winning shots as the first option for the New York Knicks? It was unbelievable. A true underdog story. The kid from Harvard really made a name for himself. Number 4. So Bron takes a tumble and gets some really painful cramps. It's like a major moment in the series, you know? But then he bounces back, and bam! He sinks this huge three-pointer in the final minutes of the 4th quarter and seals the deal on Game 4. The whole series was hanging by a thread, but LeBron came through with his unbelievable skills and brought it to a 3-1 lead. Unreal! Number 5. Man, the 2013 Indiana Pacers were this close to making it to the NBA Finals. Did you see that sick dunk by Paul George? He straight up posterized the Birdman. It was insane, man. George just soared through the air and threw it down with authority. I've got to give him props for that one. Such an epic highlight play. They had an insanely talented roster, and their young core was on fire, especially against the Heat. Paul George was straight up dominating that year, especially in Game 2, when he took over and completely embarrassed Chris Anderson, aka the Birdman. It was epic. Number 6. So with just 5 seconds left on the clock, the Boston Celtics were barely holding on to a 1-point lead of 110-109 against the Philadelphia 76ers. But then something incredible happened. Hal Greer tried to make an inbound pass to Chet Walker, but John Havlicek swooped in and stole the ball right out of their hands. And just like that, time ran out. The Celtics emerged victorious and moved on to the finals. Can you believe it? Number 7. Let's talk about Brandon Roy, Penny Hardaway, Grant Hill, and T-Mac. These guys had some insane talent on the court. But man, we gotta mention Brandon Roy as the biggest what-if of the decade. His game was on another level, just like Kobe Bryant said. I mean, he scored 18 out of his 24 points in the 4th quarter. Talk about clutch. And that 10-foot bank shot with 39.2 seconds left, pure magic. It gave the Trailblazers a miracle win over the NBA champions, Dallas Mavericks. What a moment. Number 8. James really pulled off another unbelievable move during his incredible playoff run that season. He had Toronto's OG Anunoby on his tail, but that didn't stop him from making an amazing one-handed floater while twisting his body from 10 feet away. It was like he was in a league of his own that year and definitely deserved the MVP more than anyone else. LBJ always seemed to have the Raptors' number when it came to the playoffs. They could practically sue him for causing their depression. they totally deserve it. He scored 40 points or more in 8 out of the 22 games, reached 30 points or more in 12 of them, and even recorded 4 triple-doubles. Can't deny the guy's talent. Number 9. So things were looking pretty rough for the San Antonio Spurs when Kawhi Leonard injured his ankle in the second half. But you know what? Danny Green and the rest of the Spurs crew really stepped up their game. In fact, Green went on to score 7 out of his 16 points during overtime, which made a huge difference in San Antonio's victory against James Harden and the Houston Rockets. With this win, the Spurs now had a 3-2 lead in their playoff series. It's worth mentioning that Harden really showed up too, with an impressive performance of 33 points, 10 rebounds, and 10 assists. He even had a shot at tying the game with a three-pointer in the final seconds of overtime. But guess who denied him? The one and only Manu Ginobili swooped in from behind for an amazing block. Talk about an intense game. The Spurs definitely proved themselves as a strong team, especially with their role players like Green stepping up when it mattered most. Number 10. Alright, so here's what happened before the shot. The Trailblazers were in a timeout, down by 2 with only 0.9 seconds left on the clock. Nicholas Batum inbounded the ball to Lillard, who skillfully maneuvered through a double screen set by Mo Williams and Wesley Matthews. With an outstretched arm of Chandler Parsons trying to block his shot, Lillard nailed a game-winning three-pointer. This clutch shot was Lillard's only field goal in the fourth quarter, but it sealed the deal and gave him a total of 25 points for the game. LaMarcus Aldridge led the Blazers with 30 points, while James Harden and Dwight Howard combined for 60 points for the Rockets. It's interesting to note that despite being known for making big shots throughout his career, Lillard has only hit 2 buzzer beaters that won series-clinching games. Talk about stepping up when it matters most. Number 11. Alright, picture this. You're Dirk Nowitzki, and you've carried your team to the brink of a championship. The NBA Finals are in full swing, and your team is down 2-1. This game is make or break for you, the biggest game of your entire career. But here's the twist. You wake up on game day feeling like absolute garbage. Your temperature is at a scorching 102 degrees, and you've caught the flu. But guess what? That didn't stop Dirk Nowitzki. He went out there, battling through his illness, and ended up scoring 21 points to lead the Dallas Mavericks to yet another comeback victory against the Miami Heat. And let's not forget that it was also the game where LeBron James scored a big fat goose egg in the fourth quarter. Talk about determination. The Mavs were laser focused that year, and they knew it was their last shot at securing a championship title. Dirk might have been struggling with fatigue due to his flu symptoms, but that actually turned out to be a blessing in disguise. It brought his teammates together even more, rallying around their fearless leader. And when it came down to crunch time, flu or no flu, Dirk delivered once again. He drove to the basket with his signature long arms and pulled off an incredible game-winning shot, just out of reach from Dwayne Wade's attempted block. Dirk's flu game in the 2011 Finals will forever be remembered as an epic display of grit and determination. Nothing could stand in his way that night, not even a pesky case of the flu. That's it. They remind us that anything can happen, that the impossible is possible. Whether you're a die-hard basketball fan or just tuning in for the halftime show, you never know when you'll witness a 1 in a trillion NBA moment that will go down in history. So just don't wait for the next time to subscribe to our channel.